Evaluate the benefits of Windows Client for small and medium-sized organizations. For most organizations, the typical lifetime of a desktop or laptop computer is 3 to 4 years. During that time, the computer may receive hardware upgrades such as memory and possibly replacement disks. However, the operating system deployed to many workstations remains constant for the device's lifetime, except for updates, patches, and fixes. The current generation of hardware devices often employs touch as one of the input mechanisms, and sometimes it's the only input mechanism. Many users have access to multiple devices, and it's common for users to use a laptop, a tablet, and a phone regularly, and often simultaneously. Many of these devices might belong to the users themselves, and they might desire to connect to their corporate network from these devices. Despite the investment required, both in terms of software licenses and increasing employees' knowledge and skills with new hardware, there are compelling reasons for small and medium organizations to update to Windows 10 or 11 from Windows 8.1, including easier to use. Windows 10 and 11 are easier to use, which means fewer calls to your support desk. Some example features include touch support. Using a touch device is intuitive. For example, working with images and navigating an operating system is easier when using touch rather than a mouse and keyboard, especially if the user isn't in a traditional office environment. Windows 10 and 11 supports touch-enabled devices and optimizes itself for this environment, while continuing to support more traditional input methods where required. An intuitive, user-friendly interface helps to reduce calls for support. A consistent user interface. Suppose your users are using multiple tablets and computers. In that case, they can work more effectively and efficiently if you provide a consistent interface and access to Windows Universal apps that they can use on any device. Performance improvements. Windows 10 and 11 start up more quickly, and because of improvements in the architecture, navigating the operating system is also faster. Continuous updates. Microsoft plans to provide updates constantly. Rather than periodic upgrades, such as from Windows 8.1 to Windows 10, there will be a constant process of more minor updates. Therefore, you won't have to perform wipe and load upgrades when a new Windows version arrives. Continuous updates reduce support efforts and costs. For example, upgrading from Windows 10 to Windows 11 is more like applying an OS update than upgrading the OS. Improved device management. You can choose to manage your Windows devices by using Configuration Manager or Microsoft Intune, which are part of the Microsoft Endpoint Manager platform. Microsoft Endpoint Manager is a single integrated management platform for managing, protecting, and monitoring your organization's endpoints. Endpoints include mobile devices, desktop computers, virtual machines, embedded devices, servers, and shared devices that your organization uses, integrating with Microsoft Intune, Microsoft Endpoint Configuration Manager, Desktop Analytics, and Windows Autopilot. The Endpoint Manager solutions you implement depend on your needs, the number of devices you have, and the complexity of your environment. Microsoft Intune. Microsoft Intune can't manage all Windows operating systems. Microsoft Intune is a cloud-only device management solution that requires no infrastructure. While Microsoft Intune can use this solution in larger organizations too, it's an attractive option for many small and medium-sized organizations that are looking to reduce their infrastructure costs significantly. Microsoft Intune is a cloud-based service focusing on mobile device management, MDM, and mobile application management, MAM. You control how your organization's devices are used, including mobile phones, tablets, and laptops. You can also configure specific policies to manage applications. For example, you can prevent emails from being sent to people outside your organization. Intune also allows people in your organization to use their devices for school or work. On personal devices, Intune helps make sure your organization's data stays protected and can isolate organization data from personal data. Configuration Manager. Configuration Manager is an on-premises management solution to manage desktops, servers, and laptops on your network or internet-based. You can cloud enable it to integrate with Intune, Microsoft Entra ID, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, and other cloud services. Use Configuration Manager to deploy apps, software updates, and operating systems. You can monitor compliance, query, and act on clients in real time, and much more. Desktop Analytics. Desktop Analytics is a cloud-based service that integrates with Configuration Manager. It provides insight and intelligence for you to make more informed decisions about the update readiness of your Windows clients. The service combines data from your organization with data aggregated from millions of devices connected to the Microsoft Cloud. It provides information on security updates, apps and devices in your organization, and identifies compatibility issues with apps and drivers. Create a pilot for devices most likely to provide the best insights for assets across your organization. Windows Autopilot. Windows Autopilot sets up and pre-configures new devices, getting them ready for use. Windows Autopilot's designed to simplify the lifecycle of Windows devices for both IT and end users, from initial deployment through end of life. As part of Endpoint Manager, use Autopilot to pre-configure devices and automatically enroll devices in Intune. You can also integrate Autopilot with Configuration Manager and co-management for more complex device configurations. Distribution of apps by using the Microsoft Store. Microsoft allows organizations to acquire Microsoft Store apps and then make those apps available to their users through a web portal. Microsoft enables organizations to create an organizational private app repository within the Microsoft Store for Business. These changes will allow you to deploy and manage apps within your organization more efficiently. More secure. Several improved features in Windows 10 and 11 are now more secure. Keeping users' devices secure helps reduce support costs.